what's it all for? What is anything that we do in life for? Sometimes I think we forget love was always the answer. But we were born into a world that hands us noise before it hands us truth, hands us goals before it hands us meaning. It hands us the map before it even bothers to show us the land beneath our feet. And so we run. We chase the physical world like it's the only thing that's real, like the weight in our hands matters more than the weight in our chest. We chase the shine, the numbers, the things that can be counted, because somewhere along the line we were told this is what will make life worth something. But the strange thing is, nobody ever says the things that actually matter out loud. Nobody tells you that the highest highs aren't found on mountaintops, but in the quiet moment when someone looks at you with soft eyes and you suddenly understand what safety feels like. Nobody warns you that the soul has its own kind of hunger and that it cannot be fed with anything you can buy. Love was always the answer. Even when we forgot, even when we pretended there were bigger questions. Look back at your life. Not at the milestones, not at the achievements, not at the goals you crossed off like boxes on a list. Look at the moments between all of that. The hand you held, the laughter that cracked open your ribs, the person you couldn't stop thinking about at 2 a.m. Look at the warmth that never really left. Everything you've ever done has been shaped by love, or the absence of it. Every decision, a compass quietly pointed toward connection, or away from it when you were afraid. We like to pretend we're complicated, that we're driven by ambition, by survival, by the need to prove something. But if you peel back every layer, if you strip away the masks, the conditioning, the fear, it all comes down to this simple truth. We are here to experience one another. Not to conquer, not to own, not to collect, but to experience. And that's the thing so many people forget. Love is not one shape. It's not one story. It doesn't belong only to couples or families or romantic dreams. Love is the friend who remembers how you take your coffee, the stranger who held the door on a day you really needed it, the pet who curls their body into yours like you share a heartbeat. It's the sunset that hits you so hard you suddenly feel human again. It's the song that reminds you you're not alone in the world. The way your own chest aches when you realize you still care after pretending for so long that you didn't. Love speaks louder than any language we invented because it existed long before words did. And that's why it transcends race, it transcends species, it transcends worlds. It's a force, and not the poetic kind we talk about lightly, but the ancient kind, the kind that has pulled planets into orbit and stitched consciousness into the bodies we walk around in. It's the most powerful thing in existence. It can split you open and stitch you whole in the same breath. It remembers you when you forget yourself. It reaches places that no medicine, no logic, no amount of money has ever been able to touch. We spend so much of our lives trying to outrun our own hearts. We convince ourselves we're above needing people, above vulnerability, above the ache of wanting to be known. We say we're too busy, we're too focused, too driven, because admitting we're lonely feels like admitting we failed. But loneliness is not a failure. It's the body telling the truth. You were never meant to do this alone. You can build an empire and still have empty hands. You can chase success until your lungs burn and still feel hollow when you get there. Because none of it means anything if there's no one to experience it with, no one to witness your becoming, no one to see you, really see you, in all your mess, in all your softness, in all of your trying. Somewhere deep down, you already know this. There's a part of you, the oldest part, that has always known that love is the point, that connection is the purpose, that the rest is scaffolding. So, consider this a reminder, a quiet nudge in the softest part of your soul. Everything has always been about this. Every heartbreak, every risk, every moment you opened your chest and let someone in, it was all pointing back toward the truth you were born with. Love was always the answer, not the fantasy, not the movie version, not the perfectly packaged kind we try to earn, but the raw, human, imperfect love that shows up in the small moments, the cracks, the honest places. The love that heals you in ways you never saw coming. The love that teaches you you were never too much and never not enough. The love that whispers, you don't have to run anymore. You're allowed to be here. You're allowed to be held. At the end of every journey, every success, every quiet night when you stare at the ceiling wondering what the point of all this is, the answer is the same. To be loved. To love. To let yourself be changed by the people you meet and to leave them a little softer than you found them. Everything else is noise.